know what's up. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, oh yeah, coming with another wonderful episode of, that's right, Thumbnails. NERDSoul, like, say hey.
Hey.
That's right. And we here talking about anime, cartoons, all that good stuff. We getting into Invincible. So, over here, I'm joined by, all right, you know her. You seen her on them streets, all right? Dropping dope photos, all right? Cosplaying it up. Gamma Ray, what's up?
Hey, what's up, bitch? Lawyer by day, cosplayer by night, geek always in the building. Excited. Yeah, definitely been busy, having a good time, and enjoying all things anime and comic books.
So, let's see. We got a show that has been very, 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 very solid since we started off.
Oh yeah, very consistent.
And a show that has continued to get good, continued to be solid. And I'll start on a note that usually I fast forward. The high school stuff this episode interested me. I will admit, it interested me. Normally, I don't care about the school stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hanging out with Amber and I don't know what the kid name was. Josh. I don't know the kid's name.
I think William.
I like kicking it with all of them. It was fun. Nice little road trip. Hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Going to visit the college. Even though I was like, hold up, if this man is in college, ain't he too old for him? But I was just like, you know what? Look, I don't know. Maybe that guy's 18 and he's 17. I was just like, maybe he's 18 and he's 17. I don't know. What's up?
The episodes,
yeah. Yeah.
HBO Max.
No, not on HBO Max.
Right.
This is on Amazon Prime. So,
Amazon Prime?
Yes, Amazon Prime. So the school stuff I enjoy. How'd you feel about the whole the relationship part of this show? Because there was a big chunk dedicated to the relationship, the friendships and relationships on this episode.
Yeah, I'll say for me, it was honestly, I was shocked that Amber was willing to do the whole let's start over, give you another shot. But I will say, shout out to Mark. He was very smooth with how he requested that
Marky Mark.
That third or fourth, fifth, whatever try or strike he was on. I mean, and shout out to E for covering for him. Be like, yeah, he got hit by bus.
Dude did get hurt up.
Like he got towed up, but I think that shows a level of maturity, which honestly really doesn't happen in high school like that. It's really kind of maybe college, but I appreciated it. In the fact that Mark, after even asking for another shot, he didn't wait around. He's like, I need to really show her. I need to step up. I need to take advantage of an opportunity. Hey, yo, William, I'm coming with you. I need some one-on-one time with the Wu-Tang. She giving me one last try. So, I enjoyed it, But like all high school, teenage love things, there's always the antics. Something goes wrong. Just in this case, Cyclops, cyborg, monster.
Cyclopsian, Robocop-ish kind of dude. And actually gave Invincible a run for his money. Like, he need to take some time out and take some judo or some karate. He need to step. Look, because
he was giving me Jessica Jones vibes again. I'm that.
The issue up in this joint is thinking that I'm strong and that's all that's important. That's his problem. And shouts to Jenna James for coming through. Shouts to Man coming through. Yes, congrats on 5 years. Yes, I've made it 5 years. NERDSoul holding it down. 5 years strong.
5's a good number.
That's right. 5 years. You know what I'm saying? 5 bullets, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And I seeing this episode, one thing that I thought was funny is the one moment when you think, and I mean, this happens normally in shows like this. The moment you think like, yo, look, I'm just going to have some normal time. All right. I'm just going to have some normal time and relax and kick it. What happens? You get attacked.
Like,
Oh, man.
Isn't that crazy? Because I feel like Mark has, like, really outside of what's changed is just that he now has powers, but it seems like all these things are now happening in moments where they otherwise would have just been regular boring moments for him. And I'm just like, is it some kind of gravitational, like, because now I'm a superhero, I have powers, maybe I'm more aware, or maybe
he's like a trouble magnet.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what was happening beforehand? Because I feel like you was just at the whatever burger place was, working, and
Burger Shot.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like, look, man, you a magnet for trouble. But we got Nate Miller up in here. Nate, say what's up.
Yo, sorry I'm a little bit late.
You good. So we're just remarking on how the high school and relationship part of this show, it didn't bother me this time. I enjoyed it. You know, hanging with them, going on a road trip. How did you feel? Besides the fight stuff, we ain't even getting on the fight stuff. How did you enjoy, or if you did enjoy it all, going on a road trip with the friends and going around getting hot dogs and stuff and holding hands? You know, how'd you enjoy the college trip?
I thought it was really good. I think also too, like, this is where those kind of like sleepy, boring school drama scenes start to like actually mean something, right? You develop these relationships between these characters. And I think especially after the last episode exploring like that relationship with Mark of like, well, what's it like to date a superhero who's always late all the time and not misses things and stuff like that. So I think them going on this trip was a cool, it kind of kills two birds with one stone. It like gets them out of the status quo area and also gives them a chance to kind of like be with each other without kind of worrying about the superhero stuff. But then of course he has to run off. And I think they handled it really, really well. I think Amber, her character like being frustrated and being like done with him after he just like disappears like makes a lot of sense. And I really like the reveal for the friend where he like is like, Mark, is that you? Because like of course you would recognize your friend.
Thank you. So I paused it. I looked at my wife and was like, thank God. Because normally we have these same situations in other books where it's like, I don't know who this person is. Right. He's right beside me. It's like, you know how, like, you know, a friend of yours or your brother or sister be like, Mark, is that you? Like,
exactly. Like, there's no, the mask is not like that crazy that like he would not be able to, especially with him talking too. Like, you're my best friend. Like, of course I know the sound of your voice.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I really enjoyed about it. It's kind of funny, his response to it. He was like, yo, I want to go flying. Can I try to shoot? It's like, no, man, look, all right, I got problems. All right, my girl is mad at me right now. And then when he took him out flying, it was almost like he was just like, here, you flew, all right? So, so
are we done now?
It was cool. Yeah, it's like, are we done now? So I enjoy that. This is the first time I did not try and skip any high school stuff. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to skip any. I was just like, I enjoy this. I like it. And so, you know, kudos to the show to finally, you know, I know we had to kind of get through the high school stuff at first, but now I enjoyed it. And she as an Amber and the other guys are the only ones, you know, Eve out there, she making her decisions. You know, she like, look, I'm gonna move off. I'm gonna do my own thing. There's other ways I can be a hero. And that's another moment where I stopped the show for a second and had a conversation. I was like, you know what? With her powers, actually, she'd be better suited doing what she was doing. stopping wildfires, stopping world hunger, even though there's technically, that's a whole nother conversation. Like I remember working at Food Lion, which if you're on the West Coast, Food Lion would be like Vons. But I remember working at a grocery store when they were like, there's a food shortage. I was like, no, there's not. There's tons of food here. There's corporate greed.
Right.
You think we can't send? You think we can't send a hamburger over there? Of course we can. We won't because there's not $1 in it. So,
exactly.
Right.
So her
And then they'll
powers
throw the
are
burger
actually,
away when it goes bad.
Yeah. So it's like her powers are actually extremely well suited to a whole bunch of humanitarian aid. You know what I'm saying? She saved people from the mudslide, stopped the mudslide. The wildfire, growing the kind of like, it looked like it was like either barren land or whatever, growing the crops. It's like, yo, with your powers, it actually is a good look. You actually could do way more good than just waiting for 2 years until there's another, alien invasion.
Alien invasion, right?
Yeah, I think it was a really great side arc for this episode, especially with how like encapsulated most of the episode was with that road trip kind of a thing with Mark.
Mm-hmm.
But I really just like the dichotomy of this idea of like, when you're a teenager, you think you're all powerful. You think you know everything. And like Eve literally is. She actually can change matter with her mind.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like the average teenager. It's like, I can do whatever I want. And their parents are like, no, you have to go to college. It's like, oh, you have to go to college. Like, Dad, I can literally rearrange matter with my mind. Why do you want me to have college debt? Like, come on, dude. Like, so to see her having this kind of back and forth with her parents and then, go run off on her own essentially and try to save the world. Like, one, I think it's a really cool kind of metaphor for that kind of teenage coming of age stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But two, I think it's a really great setup for the character. Like, it really shows Eve, like, outside of just, it's not just like, oh, I have powers, I got a suit, I want to be a superhero, I want people to love me. Like, no, she wants to help people. She wants to use the incredible gift that she has to actually make a change in the world. So like, it's pretty refreshing, especially because like, I love Mark, but so far he just wants to be a hero because that's what his dad is, because it looks cool, because I'm strong, right? Like it's a very different motivation. Yeah, exactly.
And he's learning some very hard lessons. Like he's like the people's apartment who he completely ruined. You know what I'm saying? Or going up against Battle Beast and catching a very serious L. Dude was out for 6 days. 6
He only lived because Battle Beast got bored.
Yeah, Battle Beast was like, y'all whack, I'm out. And he was just like, that was pretty. So it's one of those things where you look at both of them where Mark is definitely not, I think he's slowly learning his lessons, but he's not where he needs to be as a hero. I think he got the powers and just went off to the races, and now we're finding like, no, you need to learn how to fight. You need to know about like how many people are in the crowd. You need to like try to protect people and all that. There's way more going on than just, oh, I'm strong, and I can take a hit, because we're finding out that you're not as strong as you think you are. Like this dude, like, we'll get into it later, but you shouldn't have had at least I don't think you should have had the problem that you had with these kind of like RoboCop Cyclops thingies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have been a little bit.
A cakewalk.
Yeah, it's not a cakewalk. It should have, like, son, like, I'm gonna need you to like take some Taibo or something, or some judo kickboxing classes, maybe I don't know, go study under study some wushu or something. I don't know. You need something. You need some skills. You need to go to the temple for a while, go to the temple for like 5 years, and then come back, you know what I'm saying, ready to go.
Get one of those gravitate those chambers, something like from Dragon Ball Z, and just
metabolic time chamber.
Yes,
yeah.
and just train. Yes, because he's slipping.
Way slipping. Shouts to Jenna James says Rick being turned into a robot was low key heartbreaking. You could see him getting abducted a mile away. Yeah, like all the way back when Nerd Creep was introduced in the classroom. Yeah, it's like once he was like, "You're an alpha male" or something, I was like, "Up here it goes." I was like,
Yep.
"Here it goes."
Yeah. You already know what's gonna happen.
And then Zia said, telling your first girlfriend that you're a superhero feels like the same thought process as the we're going to get married and stay together for the rest of our lives mentality when you're young and in a relationship. Feels like a real bad idea. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would tell her. It's tough because it's like, on one hand, there's got to be a real reason that you keep disappearing, but you can't just tell every girl that you like that you're a superhero. Because
why not?
You might as well just be Iron Man. Then you might as well be like, "Hey, y'all, I'm a hero. This is me, and I'm a hero."
Why not?
But then because you might put your mom in danger. Well, I mean, your daddy is Omni-Man, so I mean,
your dad is literally the strongest man.
Yeah, so I guess
on the planet.
Maybe,
like, why not?
Maybe he can. Because I mean, his dad is Omni-Man, and so
this is one of the small like tidbit issues I have with this, and they do address it a little bit later on in the comics, but like especially without a really serious like arch nemesis for Omni-Man who is like on his power level or close, and so that he actually is like, there's literally no reason for him to have a secret identity. Like, he's damn near indestructible. No one can really touch him. It's not. I mean, I can see why you might want one, but it's not really necessary, and they haven't
maybe
really.
His wife
laid
is
that
like,
emphasis.
I don't want all the the fame,
publicity.
I can see that, but if they do that, then you have to show that. You have to say
True.
You have to have a scene with Mark where she goes, "Hey, Mark, like, make sure you keep this a secret. I had your father keep it a secret. I don't want us to be hounded or whatever, yada yada yada." Because otherwise, you just have Mark keeping the secret, which is obviously ruining the relationship, as it should. Homie just keeps disappearing and being late for stuff. But without some serious other weight of the other side of like, no, I can't tell her because XYZ. It's like, I can't tell her because I'm not supposed to. Like, like there isn't really like a threat there specifically to be like, oh no, I can't tell her.
Now, what was it? E comes through and says, but what kid wouldn't be if they had this much power overnight? Look what happens when kids get their license. And I see where you're coming from, but at least those kids have to take a class. They have to take a written class and a driving class. Like, he was just like, overnight, hey, you're flying and you fighting, just put on a suit. And it's like, no, like but this is also Omni-Man's fault. He should have been raising his son to be a hero since birth. You know what I'm saying? Because if he was raising his son since birth, like, hey, this is how you want to think about things when you're fighting and stuff like that, then by now he'd be good. But Omni-Man, I guess, assumed he wouldn't have powers.
Yeah, I think he was really, really,
really hoping,
thinking that he was not going to have powers. Yeah.
So, we'll see about that. And as far as the storyline, Nohoon comes through and says, either tell her or get rid of this storyline.
Right.
I mean, so I thought
either tell her or she's going to leave
down,
is what's going to happen.
I thought he was going to break down at the end of this episode and be like, look, I got to tell you something. You can't trip. All right. I got to tell you something. I'm invincible.
Be like, everybody think they're invincible. He's like, no. Like, the superhero.
No, like actually.
Invincible. Who? Invincible. Who's invincible? The guy in the blue. Oh, that guy? Didn't he mess up? No. Did he mess up somebody's apartment building? Oh, well, that he is me. My bad. I'm still learning.
I agree. You really can't just literally. I know in high school you think whoever you're dating is the one and only and forever, and it's just like, nah. So you can't just divulge pieces of yourself like that. If it's supposed to be, because then it's like any girl coming after that, she's gonna be like, wait, so am I the first one you told? No, low key, like number 4, but it's still a big deal.
It's still a big deal, girl.
I'm gonna be like, no thanks. You gotta save it for a special one.
Yeah. Fatima says, I'm tired of Amber being angry at Mark every episode. But he be doing like he be lying
She
every
has a
episode.
reason though. Like it's not for no reason. Like
Yo,
you'd be mad
she laid into
too.
him when he bounced. I mean, technically he didn't bounce, but when he bounced, when he got back, she ran him through the mud. She was like, "Where were you?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, honestly, I can see how mad she would be because, like, yo, people are dying. There's blood all over the place. Stuff is blowing up and stuff. Like, all kinds of craziness. You know, William and Rick or whatever almost got killed, and you went to get, like, the authorities. Yeah, I could see her being mad on that joint.
For a second there, I thought he was gonna just like jump in there without even changing costumes. So like,
yeah, that's what I thought was. That's what I thought was going to happen because I was like, yo, you ain't really got no time to be changing no outfit. You know what I'm saying?
like that's gonna be. It could go really left.
It's like,
you super fast, like.
But if you do that in a regular outfit, it's not. Because I'm pretty sure your dad gonna be mad about it, your mama gonna be mad about it. But that also means that you brought the suit. What if? All right, let's imagine this, right? Let's imagine Amber is like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know what? My bag is a little too full. Let me put some stuff into his bag. Stuff happens. Trust me. If you're traveling with a woman, every now and then there might be too much stuff in her bag. They got to put it in yours. So trust me, it can happen. So she's like, oh, well, let me put a little something in his bag. Like, what is that? You've been running around behind my back saving people? Like, look, I'm just saying, you got to hide the suit better than that. I don't know what you're doing with the suit, but you can't just be packing the suit like it's just normal clothes. But,
Absolutely.
I mean,
what do I know?
It might be easier than telling her if she just finds out, oops, I'm invincible. Oopsie. What a detective you are.
All right, so probably my favorite part of this episode deals with my dukes. Yeah. Because I'm very interested to see what goes on with this. Like, she was like, oh, I got places to go. He's like, oh, I could go with you. She was like, don't you have things to do? Don't you have a honey-do list? Didn't I tell you to wash the dishes? Didn't I tell you to rake up the leaves in the back? I'll be back when I be back. He like, my woman lying. I know my baby. She lying on me. She lied to me. And then why was he outside like a jilted lover though, when they was like studying the suit? He was just standing out there like, I'm a killer.
Because he knew. All this is strategic, I'm noticing. Literally nothing he's done or has been doing is kind of like in the heat of the moment or spontaneous, like, oh snap, I messed up. Like, I need to figure out how to cover up my tracks. It's like very methodical. Or he thinks through everything before he really just acts, which is even scarier because it's kind of like you can kind of trust when people react in the heat of the moment, but he's thinking out of a plan, and I'm low-key wondering, like, what in the world do you have up your sleeve? Because when your wife was like, I know you killed him, why we need to talk about it, he hit her with a, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Like
girl, don't worry about that. And then she threw the bottle at him. I was like, oh, snap. I'm like, yo. She like, I don't care how powerful you are. I'm mad.
Yeah, and you're sleeping on the couch tonight.
Sleeping on the couch. Now, why? Because you kill people.
Yeah, because you killed the Justice League.
Yeah, you essentially killed the Justice League. And then I had to find a trash bag of your outfit. Then I had to, sneak and put fake clothes in there and take this to your boy, who I'm pretty sure he killed. But I'm not sure. He might not have killed him. I got an idea. I feel like he killed that guy. I feel like that happened off camera.
Forgive me for this, but when that was last week, right, where she sent him off to go get groceries like around the world, and then she had like the time planned out. That was equally parts very creative and also actually like terrifying. To think about, like, if you lived with a superhero like that, if you're in this situation where you have to find something out without them there, like, you literally have to like send them across the world and then plan out how long it takes them to like That's terrifying. That is an oppressive relationship if I have ever seen one. Holy
Yeah,
crap.
that was real dope, and it was terrifying because I was like, "Girl, look, you better those times better be right. don't have 10 minutes on there when it's really 7 or something like that. Don't you know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to make that mistake. Like it's man that, but that was creative, and it did add a lot of suspense to it that I really enjoyed. There's been a lot of suspense around her and him and her slow realization of what's been going on. So I've really enjoyed that, and that's what I am probably most interested in because I do want to know why now. At first, I didn't care why. I wanted to see kind of what Cecil was going to do, but now I kind of care why because Cecil doesn't. I mean, he seems pressed, but not super pressed. Like
Not at all. Like
I think for Cecil, he's pretty pressed.
okay,
I think Cecil
Cecil, yeah,
I think Cecil's that type that never gets pressed. So for him to even be slightly pressed, I think is
okay.
him being pressed. Like him
Okay.
when they have that scene and they're talking about how like he's talking to his sidekick buddy with the glasses. I forget his name, but he's basically like, you know, even though I know it's Omni-Man, until we can do something about it, it doesn't matter. Which is
True.
very pragmatic because like what's he gonna do? Accuse Omni-Man and then Omni-Man just kills him?
What's he gonna
Like,
do? Omni-Man's gonna go to court.
What are you gonna do? Arrest me, right? So they have to figure out how they would even approach that situation before they even try to approach it.
Like, word out. I can see that. So maybe I'm just expecting more urgency, and Cecil is like, this is the urgency. This is the urgency you're gonna get.
You have to remember, Cecil is the ultimate Black Ops intelligence, director guy. Where like, very rarely gets his own hands dirty. Always has someone for the job. Tons of intel. Got a bunch of invisible soldiers around him all the time.
Yeah.
He done seen some things. He done been through some
Exactly.
things.
Exactly. I don't think he's the type. I think him like studying the suit and stuff and like investigating and all that stuff. Like I think that was him panicking, and like him sending Demon Detective back to hell. Like that wasn't because he didn't know he was right. He knew he was right, but he couldn't afford to have Demon Detective going around letting Omni-Man know that we knew what was up, right? So he had to be like, look, you can't chill, so I gotta chill for you.
Yeah, it's
which
like,
I didn't understand.
I'm
like
now I really do want to know why. At first I wasn't as interested as like what they were going to do, but now I want to know why, because he kills them. He didn't go on like some kind of like psychotic killing spree after killing them. He doesn't seem to be making any moves to like rule the world. So now it's like, why? I'm more interested in why than I ever was at this point, because even when she was talking to him, he looked like kind of equal parts mad and kind of like hesitant. So I don't know. Maybe the Guardians of the Globe was dirty. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they was dirty and they was doing wrong things, and he had to take them down. I don't know.
You're shooting a crazy amount of bail right now, my friend.
I know. I'm on the other side of the court. Just what I'm saying. Just go. I don't know. I have no idea. It's like
my theory. I'll say my theory is that he got rid of them because the timing, if I'm not mistaken, was definitely right after Mark figured out he had powers, or when they started to awaken, that he got rid of them because he wanted to be the ultimate influence on how Mark defined being a superhero. Like if he had the other the Guardians, and he saw and tried to, become them and like, oh, this is what it means to be a hero. It's not some wisecrack jokes and you're kind of like, oh, whatever, I pick and choose when I want to save people. Like, I think he would have gravitated towards that versus his dad. But now that his dad is legit the only, number one top hero, that's what he has to go by. There's other little B teams, but you trying to be like A1 day. We're like, yeah. So, but that's
I
kind
think
of
that
been my
makes a lot of
theory.
sense actually, because I could definitely see a world where they're still around and he, interacts with them in one way or another, and then makes friends with, Mr.
Yeah.
Immoral or whatever, and they like coach him also on like superhero stuff. So that actually makes a lot of sense.
And let's see, the next thing I want to get into, kind of coming off that, is if this whole immortal thing works. Let's say that, because it seems like
In the post-credit scene.
It seems like this whole immortal thing isn't over. Because I remember when they came and the bodies were dead, Cecil put the head, got the head and the body, and made sure they were both together. So if he's immortal, I'm thinking, is it a situation if you just put the head back on, slowly the molecules and stuff will reattach, he'll come back to life? I don't know. Because, they say immortal, so how immortal is immortal? I guess it depends on what book or comic book you're reading. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I thought he took the head and the body the way they did. Because he was someone on it said, make sure you get the head. So in that case, is it possible that he's still alive, or is it on some stuff like those dudes digging up the grave, like, if you drink from his skull, man, you'll have immortality? I'm like,
did you see that
who made that up?
Those kids, that one kid's dad is the security guard that we saw in the first episode that was in front of the White House.
Word.
He says, he's like,
right.
oh, couldn't your dad lose his job at the White House or something?
Wow, word.
Which is a good callback, because I remember being in the first episode like, why are we seeing these two dudes talking? Like, why do I care? But good callback.
So now it's kind of, all right, cool. And then, of course, having Robot send, the Dum twins to go get, I assume, go get the body is, kind of part of his plan too. Because, I don't know if this whole bit with the kind of reconstitution is part of Robot's plan with Cecil, or if this is Robot on his own, or, what it is. Because, of course, it's still kind of shrouded in secrecy to a certain degree. But it's something that I think could play out in a really cool way later on. And this show has been solid in kind of like revealing stuff, and I've enjoyed it a lot. Like, I ain't gonna front. As someone who's only heard of this property and never read it, I'm really enjoying at least the animated stuff. I don't know how the comic book stuff reads, but animated wise, I'm enjoying this a lot. So Nate, how you feel about how do you feel about our villain this episode? Our monster of the week, if you will.
I think he was kind of cliche, but I think it served the purpose of, it's like a two birds one stone thing, right? Is like you get to have the college episode with the teenagers, and you also get to have that kind of movie of the week villain. And so I think it makes a lot of sense to have, like, the super smart transfer kid, who's like Dr. Doom or whatever, basically.
In the making.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of create this situation that then Mark has to, like, actually help out in. I don't know. I think also too, like, it does. I'm trying to tread carefully here.
Because you know everything.
Yeah.
the way that, at least with the comics, the course of the comics, how you go with Mark as he grows up. This last year of high school and then going into college and stuff, and like, this is all very important developmental time for him outside of just being a superhero.
Okay.
So I think they handled it well, and I think that villain, we didn't see him die. So as far as I'm concerned, he's coming back. That's because that's just how it works.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This is the second time Cecil's been like, yeah, save that. Because remember, they had that big, like, kaiju animal or whatever. Yep. And the dude was like, oh, it's still alive. He was like, save it. We might need it. And he's like, because remember, that was right after he said it gave Omni-Man a run for his money. And then
Right.
here, he said he made something that gave Invincible a run for his money in a sewer. So
Exactly.
he's like, save that. Because if you could do all this
Right,
in
with
the
no
sewer,
budget. Imagine
then
what you could do with
I've got
Diesel's
tons
money.
of money.
Exactly.
I've got tons of
Right.
money, and we can make all of these little RoboCops. So just in case, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then we
Just
can
in
send them
case.
after Omni-Man or whatever.
You know, Omni-Man
Yeah,
start acting stupid. You know what I'm saying? Then we can,
So I think again, this is a great kind of laying the groundwork kind of a thing. Like, is it the most interesting villain arc thing? No, it's pretty traditional, like you said, monster of the week. But that has to kind of happen
to get your
because
building
that's kind
blocks
of
on.
that's also the life of a superhero, right? Is monster of the week. You save this
Yeah.
person, you save that person, right?
Right.
And so getting to see this, getting this establishment of a character who I'm sure will return, if not by the end of the season, in season 2 or whatever, will be a nice callback. Like, oh, remember when Mark fought him or whatever in his robot dudes? Like, so I think they handled it well. I also think the guy was like creepy, you know, and like you said earlier, like the foreshadowing was great, where he was like, "Oh, you're an alpha male." And it also too, like, I love that this show does not pull back on the violence that is in like the comics, because like when you're hacking up bodies to make them cyborgs, there's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
It just is. And when the dude looks over and has the hook arm and he's like, "Ah,"
He's
I was
like,
He's just like,
"No."
damn, that's gnarly.
So
I really feel like if he does return, he's gonna have like a metal cyborg because Mark knocked the shit out of his
He
jaw.
did, yeah.
Mark,
that
'cause
jaw's
when he
not
hit him,
no good
I
anymore.
was like, yo, you just hit a human with your superhuman strength.
Such-
And the only reason I thought about that is because it might have been All-Star Superman. Whenever Superman was like, yo, I have to think about like my strength in relation to who I'm fighting. Because like I can't hit I don't know, Lex Luthor
a bank
like
robber.
I would hit Darkseid. You know what I'm saying? I had to be, because I was like, yo, you hit him with like your superhuman strength. Like his jaw was leaving the room. It was like all right, we out. It was like he was gone. He backhanded him with the illest of pimp smacks. So the way he went out, and maybe the way he comes back in, will probably be with that some weird mechanical jaw or something. But I mean, you know, he's making humans better. He's gonna make himself better. You know, they're gonna be like, I got better. You know, I got a better jawbone now. And now you can't punch me. You know what I'm saying?
What's that guy's name? Sinclair, I think it was.
They called him DA.
It's like DA
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was DA something.
It might have been DA Sinclair.
Nohoon comes in and says, I need one more good Battle Beast fight. And there was someone earlier that said they haven't read the comics. I can't remember who it was. Shouts out to you. Said, I haven't read the source material, but I would like to see how Omni-Man fares up against Battle Beast. Because he didn't look phased up against the whole team. And don't get me wrong, the new Guardians they're not top tier. But, I mean, there's still a whole team of them, and he did not seem phased. So, and he's definitely got the power, because he took Invincible when he went like Super Saiyan. He took those hits, and he delivered some serious hits as well. So, I wouldn't mind seeing Omni-Man, you know, a couple rounds. Maybe, you know,
that'd be
Battle
a pretty
Beast come
fight,
through.
for sure.
That would be interesting to see if Omni-Man can handle him. But then you look at how he essentially like killed a whole planet. Maybe Battle Beast ain't got nothing for him. I don't know.
It'd be an interesting like metric to see, to kind of
because Battle Beast can't,
because we have a lot of powers in this scale that are kind of amorphous. We haven't really defined like who is where. I'd be super down for that. I just want more Battle Beast, period. I think he's
Me too.
a cool character. I like anthropomorphic lion dudes.
Zia said if Invincible wasn't recovering from his tangle with Battle Beast, those cyborgs wouldn't have made him bleed. In the comics, they were strong enough to make their punches feel like strong slaps on Mark, but that's about it. So, okay. I guess, I guess I'll let it slide. But there was a time when I out loud said, you have to fight smarter. Like I said, I was like, you can't just keep going head first against three people.
Right.
Like, you got to figure out you're in a very small space. But this is something that Omni-Man could have taught you. Like, you're in a very small space. It's 3 against 1, and you have to kind of keep your eye on your friend. You have to fight smarter. You have to figure out something to get away from them. Maybe this is a retreat mission where, like, yo, you grab your friend and you fly off. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this,
and then
you
call
just don't
Cecil.
fight them. Like, yeah, or call Cecil, or you just don't fight them, period. Just grab your boy and bounce. It's just like, look, hey, we'll handle them. We'll handle the RoboCops another day. So, yeah, but he's determined to just get beat up. Like, I'll be like, look, you gotta get your skills up. And it might be a situation where he doesn't feel he needs to learn kind of how to fight because I'm strong.
Right.
So why should I learn how to fight? And it's like, well, no, it's two different things. Like, yes, you can take a punch, but you don't know how to move.
Yeah.
So,
it's like having a massive, like a really powerful toolkit or something, but you don't know how to use it. Like, just because you have the tools, you still have to know how to use the tools. And I think that's exactly what we saw in this fight. Like, I would definitely say in my head canon, he's a little bit weaker than normal because of him still being kind of in recovery mode. But I agree with you that, like, I think that's something that is intentional, that when there's a problem, he just flies straight at it with his fists and he hasn't learned to try to solve problems in other ways. Like that, all he knows right now is I'm strong, I'm almost invincible, so I'm just gonna fly straight into it.
Yeah, so that's not a good look. Jenna James says what Eve's father said parallel with what Mark's dad said about being unhappy the moment they got their powers. That's interesting. I didn't think about that whole part because he did. Eve's dad definitely wants her to live what would be considered probably the normal kid's life on their block, which is like, hey, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a job or something, you find someone, you get married, and you kick it, you know what I'm saying, and you don't fight aliens. But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, your daughter is able to do these things, so, maybe what she wants to do with this kind of like hero that leans more on the side of like humanitarian stuff is the best for the world in general. Like, there's, like, I was like, there's tons of problems that she can solve, like, just off top. So yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe from a fear standpoint, but dude is tripping. And it's funny that she took the door away. She's like, she be taking them doors out, boy.
I took his reaction as just low key a toxic male masculinity kind of approach, because one, you kind of pick up on how he talks to his wife when she's trying to speak up and have her opinion in how when it comes to parenting Eve, he's just like, woman, and literally how they told Eve, like, we only let you join that team because a man was on there that obviously you're stronger than, but a man was there that we trusted that was going to look after your delicate female self. And she's just
ridiculous.
I don't need him.
They wanted her to stay with him. After she said what he did.
So I took the dad is taking when he made that statement, it was the worst day of my life when you got powers. It was because literally I feel like you're an embarrassment because I can't control you, are like, you now seem like you have something better than something I don't have to
Mm.
hold over my head, and you don't want to listen to me, and you don't know your place. You know, go to college, find you a good husband while you out there, and be a meek little housewife like your mom. That's kind of how I took it. Like when that whole messed up mindset, because any parent would be over the moon if they had a child who, I mean, of course you would be concerned and want them to be safe,
but the way he treats her is like, it's almost like her powers are a burden to the family. And maybe there's some stuff that we don't know, but it doesn't seem like you guys are actually like enduring any pain because she has powers. Like, oh, there's been financial hardship because you have powers. Like, nobody even knows that she is who she is. So the whole thing, you know, Dad, you didn't mind that when I expanded the back deck, huh? You didn't mind that. You didn't mind that.
Right.
You didn't mind that when I provided brand new washer and dryer in the home. Did you? I ain't gonna front. I would be using my powers for like regular stuff. I'm like, you know what? No, I like an outdoor kitchen right here. And I mean, she did make her sweet, like outdoorsy treehouse. But yeah, her parents.
That was dope.
I don't know, man. They're acting like it seems like they're making it a bigger deal than it is. And maybe I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a kid with powers, but you know, her dad was like, especially when he said, you know, like she was like, yo, he slept with someone else. He was like, so get back with him or something. I was like, what? Whoa.
I think he just sucks.
Yeah,
and I think also like people fear what they don't understand, right? And imagine trying, like, it's already tough being a parent. I'm sure you know. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, you want the best for your kid. You want to teach your kid lessons from stuff that you learn the hard way without them having to learn the hard way. Throw all that in there, and then also too, your daughter can manipulate matter at an atomic level. Like, I do not envy him in that position. Like, do I think he did a good job? Absolutely not. But I also can understand how that could be an incredibly tough situation. To like, how do you parent your child that is like a damn near a god? You know, like how do you try to prepare them for life and relationships and normal human stuff? You know, when they are not a normal human, right? So I think it's on one hand, it's just like, yeah, you don't understand me, Dad. But on the other hand, like, it's a very deep like question of how would you react if you're, you know, if you walked into the living room one day and your kid was like rearranging blocks to be like, you know, a whole nother like thing molecularly, you'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, I will
Pay
say
the babysitter
there would be
extra.
a fear. Well, since we, I guess in this case, we live in a world where there's other heroes, maybe I wouldn't be as scared, but I would definitely be scared that my kid would end up on some kind of lab table, you know, where the government has come in and been like, well, we need to take, you know, blood samples from your kid or whatever, and they kind of like show it with the military, and it's like, well, what do I do?
And
you know
remember
I mean?
too, within the context of the world, right? Their Guardians, Justice League or whatever, just got killed. So being a hero doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to live forever. It's still a dangerous job. So you see that happen, and then now your daughter's like, oh, I'm going to be a hero. I'm not even going to be on a team anyway. Also, I'm going to be by myself, by the way. And be like, whoa. What?
Okay.
The Immortal just got killed. The Red Flash just got killed.
Yeah, like all the
like, who do you think you are?
really dope people that are like above your level just got killed.
The best of the best just got murked.
And nobody even knows how.
Well, they didn't.
Oh, they don't know that part. Yeah, they don't know that part.
Yeah, the regular public doesn't. I think the story is that they died valiantly fighting some invasion or something like that.
Right. Was it the cat? Did they blame that kaiju monster for like they died?
Maybe. Who knows?
Was that what it was? Maybe that's what it was. I gotta rewatch it. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he did say something of like, oh, this is they have there's like a news report or something that's like, oh, they died, you know, saving us from something or whatever.
Right.
Word. So yeah, I guess with that, because at first I'd be like, oh snap, this is cool. Now I'd be like, hold up, we can't let nobody know. that will probably be like my very next thought. All right, nobody can know. Gotta keep this on the low because I don't want them coming in here, taking you away to some black site where they, basically take your blood, skin samples, and spinal fluid for the rest of your life, and there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, unless they try to like take you and you just like turn the handcuffs into like, I don't know, nothing, and then like just turn all of their guns into like, I don't know, dandelions or something, then I guess that changes the game a little bit. But yeah, I can definitely see his fear. It's just he just comes off really, really douchey.
Oh yeah, male
Or
chauvinistic.
douche, if you will.
Douche.
Let's see. Oh, Nohun says this is an 8-episode season. Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man. Oh, man. I wish I knew this in advance. 8 episodes?
I think next season will end up being longer. Remember too that this is their first really like animated series that Amazon has done at all. And also it is kind of like it's kind of an off, it's not for kids, right? It's an offbeat animation thing. So I think they're a little the first season they're a little it's going to be a little light, but I think next season, especially with the reception that's gotten, we'll get more episodes.
Yeah, because I just wish I knew that earlier, because I'm like, yo, cool, we just getting into it. Oh yeah, there's only 2 episodes left. Oh, the what? It's like, oh yeah, we getting started. No, we're getting ended. That's what we're getting. It's like, it's 2 episodes.
Season 1's almost done.
Wow. But
yeah, I think when this series is all said and done, I think this season is going to be viewed as almost like a prequel of like, it's just kind of setting up a lot of what's going on and allowing kind of establishing the world and stuff and the characters. And then as we get further into it, we will start to get deeper with those characters. But I think especially if these next 2 episodes play out kind of how I think they will, and I'm pretty sure Robert Kirkman wrote the last episode himself. So I have a feeling I know what's going to be in that one. But I think it's going to be a great solid finish to the season. And I also know that they're absolutely going to set up cliffhangers for the next season right away. Because that's just how Kirkman writes. He's a cliffhanger guy, like all the time.
Cool.
Big cliffhangers. Oh, goodness.
Oh, man. So season 2 is what, like May this year? No, I'm just playing.
One can wish.
See, because when it's good, it's like, all right, how much you got? This is it? When's the next one coming? But so with that said, any other things that stood out to you guys this episode? Any things that you would like to drop in, talk about, you know what I'm saying, pontificate, if you will?
It's just a small thing, but I really like how they have handled his character, William, his friend, and his whole being gay thing. Like, it's not a big deal. It just is. And when this book came out, a decade ago, there was more of a point in the book to kind of talk about it because it was kind of a controversial thing, especially then. Like, it wasn't normal. But I think that they have handled it really well. And again, like, it's such a small thing, but just that the framing of this episode is that they're going to visit this boy that he met, like, and wants to like hang out with him. Like, I think that's really cool. I think that's
probably
good
too
for
old for him.
representation.
You need to find somebody your own age.
Well, he's a cripple now, so
yeah. Oh man.
But
maybe they'll be able to fix him perfectly.
I definitely like how they handle it, because they don't handle it in the typical Hollywood way of patting themselves on the back for having a gay character.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like pandering of like, look at us, we're checking this box.
It just
oh my God, yes.
Probably the best example I can think of is probably the lady that's on All American. Yeah. The All American is a show on CW. One of the Spencer's friend, I can't think of her name right now, is escaping me.
Oh, she was on Empire.
She was on Empire as well, and she also raps on this show. But she's gay, and Who? Coop. Yeah, Coop. Coop is the name of the character, and they handle her in a way where it's like she's just a regular person just chilling out. They never present her in a way where it's like, hey guys, we've got a gay character, and you should be happy that we have one. Yeah, look how progressive we are. No, it's just like she just goes to school there, and that's it. And so that's why I definitely enjoy the way this depiction is, because it doesn't look like they're trying to get like points for having a gay character. Just have a gay character like living their lives and just chilling. You know what I'm saying? It's
just like every other
yeah,
any kind of the character you'd introduce.
Exactly. They're just another
like,
character, just another person.
So anything on your mind, Gamma?
No, I'll say just literally how it just became more obvious that the dad was a total douche, and that really what low-key kind of shook me was when the mom, her actual name is escaping me, goodness, when she pretty much confronted Nolan and was like, hey, like, stop lying to me, like, you know, whatever, like, F you, I ain't got time for this.
Yep.
Y'all realize, like, she didn't, like, leave the house or, like, be like, you get out. She went upstairs, unbothered, to go to sleep in her own bed. You literally are in a house with the strongest being in the world,
who's definitely a murderer,
and you just cuss him out, and you know he murdered folks, and you was
and
like,
threw a bottle at him.
And he was like, I'm going to bed. And it's like he knew not to take his butt upstairs. It was just, I mean, he might be the strongest man. I don't know what his plans are, but oddly, I feel like that still shows he probably genuinely does love her. Because if he didn't, he would just be like, he literally could snap her like a twig.
I think,
and
like,
somehow cover it up to Mark and be like, oh, the villains came and took your mom. But he's just like, sorry, babe. Dang, I got caught. I messed up.
Yeah, like, we don't know his exact motivation, but I agree with him. You can see that he is like, it's almost like there's two sides of him. There's like this different, more aggressive, cold side, and then there's like the dad parent side, and like they're kind of clashing inside of him. Like, now that Mark has kind of awakened his powers, he's like, well, shit, I'm a Viltrumite. Like, I'm super strong, I'm super tough, right? But then also he's like, well, damn, I also had kids and love this woman, married this woman. And so, like, yeah, I think seeing that, you said it perfectly. Like, when he's standing there after he catches the bottle and he smashes it, like, what's gonna stop him from flying up the stairs? Like, literally nothing, right? Except for his own mind of knowing, like, I can't go up there right now, which means he has some type of emotional respect for her. Like, even though he's shitty and acting shitty right now, like, he's holding back, which says something about him. So yeah, I think that's it. It was a really cool. I'm really glad that they gave her some agency of her own, because often when you have a human character in this kind of environment, you just kind of you're just Mark's mom or Omni-Man's wife or whatever. But she's very much not. She has a personality, she has wants and desires, and she goes about, getting the information that she wants. I think it was really cool. Yeah.
I don't know if I could cuss out the strongest being in the world and walk upstairs, turning my back on them, unbothered, and just be like,
especially after learning what she learned too, right? Like, it's one thing that he's already powerful and stuff, but it's another thing to find out that he just killed,
what he's capable of,
murdered, all of these other incredibly powerful people. So, like, what could stop him from killing you? Nothing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Hopefully they start this next episode off directly right there, or with those two. Like, because I know it's Invincible. I know it's Mark's story, but I kind of really want to know what's going to happen in the house. She went up in her room and she played Stranger in My House from Tamia? No, not Tamia. Yeah, Stranger in My House. That's right. And then he was downstairs. She's like, I'm going to compete with it. He's going to play, what is it, Cry Together? Be like, girl, we cry together. Come on, girl. I know I killed some people. I know I killed some people. It's okay. We can cry together.
Ah,
Then
Oh.
you gonna see it.
Wow.
You're like, girl, I just been thinking. You'll be like, why is he talking
stop.
like this? I know I did wrong.
Stop.
So I mean, because he got to get her back now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you get her back after killing mad people and lying, and then I don't know.
Ain't no free trip
I
around
don't
the
know if he
world
does.
flying.
So like,
Like,
it's weird because I agree with you in that it didn't necessarily feel like there's only 2 more episodes left. But if you really lay out a lot of the plot that's happened, it kind of makes sense, right? The
Yeah.
wife knows now of what happened. Cecil knows for
Mhm.
sure and has evidence with the suit. She's told him that she knows. So even though we don't know the immediate backlash, there's going to be some type of backlash. Is she going to tell Mark? What's
I
going to
was just
happen when
about to
Mark
say,
finds out,
ooh.
right? And then we have the thing with them digging up Immortal's body. Obviously, they wouldn't do that for nothing. So either, Immortal comes back or that tells them more about like what actually happened. We're definitely heading towards some type of conflict. And there's also the whole thing with still Robot and the blue dudes. Like that also has barely been touched on.
Which I'm guessing might be under the direction of Cecil, but I'm not sure. It might be because it doesn't seem like he's
I
working
think
with
he's
Cecil.
doing it. It's on his own. I think.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
And see, that's
feel
only
like
phase
he's-
1 of whatever he wants to do. So
I think he's in that same brain space as Cecil of like he's constantly planning things and pulling the strings and stuff.
I feel like his whole purpose of dealing with the twins is that he's trying to. I feel like it's for the sake of Monster Girl, or it like a benefit of what his overall plan will benefit Monster Girl. Like he's trying to like, maybe I can clone her a body that doesn't age, and she's like, stay the proper age no matter how many times she transforms. Something. I feel like she's the core that's driving this now. But I'd be interested to see what his overall purpose is too.
yeah, and we'll see what's the deal with these powers. With if the powers have returned to can't think of his name now. The brother that's like the den mother / leader of the new Guardians. Like, because it looked like they reawakened his powers, but
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah.
Black Samson.
Black Samson.
Yeah.
So
Marcus Grimshaw.
technically, that could be a situation where he never lost his powers. Maybe something psychological happened where he couldn't access them or unlock them anymore. Maybe something traumatic, and now they're back, and now he's gonna be doing this thing. Who knows? But guys, we'll figure that out next week on the amazing episode of hopefully Invincible. There might be a whole lot of dead people next episode. I don't know, because the more and more blood gets thrown over the name, so we don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? We have no idea. But before we get out of here, down at the bottom square, Gamma Ray, say what's up.
Hey, Gamma Ray, you can find me on all social media platforms, even TikTok at Gamma Ray Cosplay. And also check out the podcast that I co-host with DJ Young Venom at Geeked Up JXN.
All right, and right over here, you know him, you love him. He's read the whole series already. And he's being very nice by not spoiling anything. Nate Miller.
I'm trying. Again, thank you, Mike, for having me. Ray, it's always a pleasure. Thank you guys for listening. We love this show, so we love being able to talk about it, have you guys watch. If you're interested, I'm doing a music podcast now. I've got one coming up on Tuesday, No Skip Radio. We're going to be talking about the emancipation of Mimi. So if you are a fan of that record, you should come tune in. We're going to talk about each song.
That was a
and
big
talk
one.
about kind of why it's special for our guests. So
that was a big one. I think Emancipation blocked, well, from his words, blocked one of Kanye's Grammys.
Yeah, that was In his words, yeah.
Yeah, in his words.
Oh, Kanye.
Emancipation of Mimi was huge though. But
Yeah, I've been listening to it, and I forgot how many of those songs were like huge singles.
Man. So No Who wants to know what's are you on YouTube, Gamma? Or are you on YouTube with Geeked Up Podcast?
Yeah, that's still under construction, but everywhere else you can find us.
Just find it on Instagram, link down below.
Yes.
Thumbs down?
Nah, not thumbs down. We going thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Uh-huh. No, not down. We going up.
Thumbs down.
So, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit that thumbs down if you don't. But if you hit that thumbs down, oh boy, people going to be drinking from your skull. All right, you don't want that. And they might not get immortality.
Yeah, they won't get no powers.
They ain't going to get no powers. So, podcast if you want to listen. Spotify for that music. We're leaving y'all with P.L. Parker Lewis. Say Parker Lewis.
Parker Lewis. And Akatron.
Mm-hmm.
And Hotline.
Yep.
Hey.
So we're going to leave y'all with that. From us to you, thank you for watching, and peace.
Bye.
Give them the woo. Show them the woo.
Uh-oh.
See,
Woo,
that's
hey.
right. Show them the woo. That's right. Wu-Tang is definitely for the children. Peace, y'all. Yeah.
I'm the man, yes, sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the Parker Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that white boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grind together, we all came from